Hey folks, Film Focus here. Today we're delving into the Cloverfield Paradox, the third installment in the heart-pounding Cloverfield franchise. Our planet stands on the precipice of an energy crisis with a mere 5 years left before the world's reserves run dry. Tensions are escalating and the threat of a global war for resources looms large. In an effort to solve the crisis, the world's leading countries are collaborating on the Cloverfield International Space Station, equipped with the Shepard Particle Accelerator. This experimental device has the potential to provide Earth with a powerful and sustainable energy source. If the experiment succeeds, the energy crisis in the United States and around the world will be solved for good. The story revolves around Ava Hamilton, who recently suffered the tragic loss of her 2 young children in a fire. Her husband, Michael, urges her to join the mission to the Cloverfield International Space Station as it presents an opportunity to save countless lives on Earth. The crew also consists of Commander Keel, Russian Volkov, American Monk, Chinese Tem, Irish Mundy, and German physicist Schmidt. For several years, they have been diligently conducting tests and attempting to activate Shepard's particles, yet they have not achieved a successful outcome. Exhausted from relentless overwork, the crew members face dwindling resources. With only enough fuel remaining for 3 launches of the accelerator, this is their final chance. One day, a signal from Earth reaches them, bearing a dire warning from renowned science fiction writer. He cautions that Shepard's accelerator is immensely powerful, and its activation could trigger the Cloverfield Paradox, opening portals to other dimensions and unleashing demons and monsters upon Earth. The chief ignores the warnings and continues the process. To the team's elation, the launch is a success, unleashing a colossal surge of energy from the accelerator. However, disaster strikes as an overload rocks the station, causing instruments to shatter and a fire to erupt. Amidst the chaos, Schmidt and Tem collaborate to extinguish the flames using the ventilation system. However, their relief is short-lived as they make a chilling discovery. Earth has vanished from their radar. Volkov, suspecting a malfunction in the orientation system, proposes repairing the gyroscope to ascertain their coordinates. Ava concurs, but they face a new obstacle. The gyroscope is nowhere to be found. Suddenly, a piercing cry pierces the air, prompting the team to rush towards the source. They encounter a young woman named Mina, writhing in pain and desperately calling out Ava's name. However, astronaut Mina was never part of their crew. Conversely, Mina adamantly insists that there was no Chinese woman named Tem on her team. Bewildered, the team provides first aid and leaves the girls to rest. Meanwhile, as they resume repairs on the station, each crew member begins to experience peculiar and unsettling phenomena. To Mundy's growing unease, he discovers that all the worms from the experimental aquarium have vanished. Shortly after, Volkov gazes into a mirror and recoils in horror as something stirs beneath his skin. Before he can alert the others, he collapses to the ground, his body racked with convulsions. To their shock and dismay, the missing worms erupt from his mouth, marking Volkov's gruesome demise. Amidst the escalating horrors, Mina, whose presence aboard the station remains a perplexing mystery, regains consciousness and attempts to reassure Ava of their friendship. She claims to be an engineer working at the station and recognizes everyone except the enigmatic Chinese woman named Tem. Mina's confusion deepens as she insists that Ava was not originally part of the mission and that the entire crew should be familiar with her. In a seemingly offhand manner, she points to the German physicist Schmidt as the culprit behind the station's malfunctions. Accused of sabotaging the accelerator, German physicist Schmidt faces scrutiny. The commander's review of his messages uncovers Schmidt's clandestine espionage for Germany, jeopardizing the experiment. Despite the evidence, Schmidt maintains his innocence, desperately attempting to justify his actions. Schmidt, the prime suspect, is arrested due to incriminating evidence. Amidst the turmoil, a group photo on the wall mysteriously changes, revealing the absence of Mina and Ava while introducing a strange woman in their place. Objects defy physics, moving, rotating, and shifting on their own accord, their colors and outlines morphing in a disorienting display. The bizarre events escalate as Mundy repairs a panel and his right arm is inexplicably pulled through the wall. His screams for help draw others to the scene, and when they manage to free him, they discover that his mustache has thinned and his arm has been severed, yet there is no blood. The crew is left in a state of shock and disbelief, struggling to comprehend the impossible. Meanwhile, Schmidt's attention is drawn to the sound of someone opening a door. Schmidt, convinced that the commander has come to release him, steps out of the room. However, to his bewilderment, there is no one in sight. His attention is then drawn to a peculiar sight outside. Mundy's severed hand is inexplicably moving on its own. Schmidt gathers the others to witness this bizarre phenomenon. He theorizes that the overload of accelerator particles is causing these strange occurrences as the particles interact with each other in unpredictable ways. A spectral hand begins scribbling on paper. Bewildered, the crew reads the note. Open Volkov. With rising tension, they comply, discovering a concealed gyroscope within. Utilizing this device, they successfully re-establish contact with Earth. The news from Earth is grim. The war, fueled by the global energy crisis, has raged on for 14 grueling months, leaving the world in a state of utter chaos. To compound their despair, the crew learns that the wreckage of Cloverfield Station has been discovered at sea, and they are officially listed as missing. The German physicist, Schmidt, postulates that the activation of the accelerator caused two dimensions to merge, resulting in their displacement to an alternate reality. In this parallel world, Mina rightfully belongs. Meanwhile, on Earth, Ava's husband Michael is jolted by a sudden explosion in the city. Driven by his duty as a doctor, he rushes to the hospital to offer assistance to potential victims. The perilous journey reveals the remains of a destroyed hospital, with Cloverfield nowhere to be found. In the midst of the chaos, a colossal beast appears. The faint cries of a child lead to the discovery of a young girl in the rubble. A deep sense of compassion drives the search for shelter, safety, and solace in a humble abode. Amidst the chaos, Michael speculates that the Cloverfield Paradox caused the station's disappearance. He shares this theory over the phone, but the connection abruptly ends, followed by a thunderous explosion. Meanwhile, aboard the space station, the team prepares to repair the accelerator and return to their own universe. After careful analysis, Tem suggests that condensation might be the culprit behind the overload. Determined to resolve the issue, Tam ventures into the condensation chamber to test her hypothesis that improved airflow will stabilize the accelerator. Schmidt keeps a watchful eye on the gauges, and indeed, initiating airflow brings the desired stability. However, disaster strikes when the stabilizing valve activates, trapping Tam within the rapidly flooding chamber. Her desperate cries for help reach her colleagues, but they are unable to assist due to the dangerously high blood pressure levels. The door buckles, contorts, and is ultimately ripped into the vastness of space. Simultaneously, the damaged chamber freezes over, encasing Tam within. Schmidt is devastated by the loss of the woman he loved. Despite their grief, the team attempts to activate the accelerator, but their efforts prove futile. All hope now rests upon Mina, an engineer from this universe. The commander assures her that upon completion of this task, he will provide her with all the experimental data from the accelerator. Mina elucidates that the accelerator can only be activated when fully charged, prompting the team to work diligently towards this goal. Left alone with Ava, Mina reveals that Ava's children are alive in this parallel universe. Initially skeptical, Ava is presented with undeniable proof, a video of her children, happy and content, embracing their mother. This revelation shakes Ava to her core, and she realizes that she no longer desires to return to her own dimension. She earnestly implores Captain Keel to allow her to remain in this alternate reality. Despite Paradox concerns, Captain allows determined Ava to stay. Crew boldly deactivates life support systems to divert power for launch, planning to reactivate them later. In this pivotal moment, Mundy diligently monitors instrument operation, his focus unwavering as he ensures the launch's success amidst heightened risk. Mundy finds himself ensnared within the contorted metal, held fast by the magnetic pull of the oxygen tank. The tank detonates, inflicting additional harm to the already damaged station, thereby escalating the peril faced by the team. Desperate for survival, Commander Keel resolves to detach the maintenance deck, enlisting Ava and Monk's help. At the crucial moment, Keel sacrifices himself by locking Ava and Monk outside, successfully disconnecting the deck. Faced with this harrowing turn of events, Ava makes the difficult decision to board an escape pod with Mina and return to Earth. Before leaving, she asks Mina to make a copy of the accelerator experiment data and gives the ignition key to Dr. Monk. However, Mina harbors treacherous intentions. She renders Ava unconscious within the escape pod, swiftly activates the automatic launch system, and shoots Monk, seizing the key from his grasp. Regaining consciousness, Ava exits the escape pod only to discover Monk deceased and Schmidt gravely wounded. Her eyes then fall upon Mina, who reveals the dire state of her own world, teetering on the brink of doomsday due to an energy crisis. Mina firmly believes that Shepard's particle accelerator holds the key to salvation for her world. Faced with a moral crisis, Mina chooses to sacrifice 3 lives for 8 billion. Schmidt intervenes, knocking Mina unconscious. Ava escapes, but Mina recovers and gives chase, engaging in a fierce fight. The struggle shatters the window, violently ejecting Mina into the cold abyss of space. Miraculously, Ava manages to seize the window ledge and survives the decompression, left to grapple with the aftermath of Mina's fateful decision. Afterward, Ava finds Schmidt and provides urgent care, deftly extracting the bullet from his chest. Convinced of her duty, Ava resolves to return to her universe. She transmits all the accelerator data to her email in her own world. In a synchronized effort, she and Schmidt initiate the ignition procedure, achieving stable operation of the accelerator. With the report successfully transmitted to the command center, Ava and Schmidt board the escape pod, their hearts filled with determination as they embark on their journey home. However, the catastrophic overload of the accelerator has caused the intermingling of multiple dimensions, unleashing terrifying creatures from other universes upon Earth. As Ava and Schmidt's escape pod re-enters Earth's atmosphere, piercing through the cloud cover, a colossal beast rears its monstrous head, emitting a spine-chilling scream that reverberates through the air, heralding the arrival of an unimaginable horror. Space-time complexities captivate me in cinematic narratives where temporal and spatial puzzles weave intricate plots that defy comprehension. Cosmic entities and converging realities add layers of intrigue that capture my imagination. These stories challenge our perception of reality and offer new perspectives on existence. I find them utterly compelling and intellectually stimulating. That's all for now. Thanks for watching and see you soon.